Hello and welcome back to LTC Heroes Live by Experience Care. My name is Peter Murphy Lewis. I'm your host. I'm excited because this year I've been attending, participating, visiting a lot of LeadingAge conventions. And this year in particular, I'm excited to be talking about what they're doing at LeadingAge Indiana. And to join me on the show is Eric Essley. He's the president and CEO of LeadingAge Indiana. Eric, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Peter. It's great to be here.
Eric, tell me what you are doing this year at this year's convention, more specifically how you're taking the national message of the greater good and taking it down to the local level in Indianapolis.
Yeah, thanks. Well, first of all, thanks again for having me. It's a really great opportunity to speak with you today and raise a little bit of awareness for our conference coming up here in May 3rd and 4th here in Indianapolis. So the greater good, I think, to us at LeadingAge Indiana is really just a recognition of the good works that our provider communities and our associate members do for seniors throughout the state of Indiana. I mean, I think there's really so many things that go into the day-to-day experiences of somebody who is living either in congregate care or assisted living providers, that sort of care, housing care. I mean, there's just so many things that people just don't recognize. And I think the way that we celebrate the greater good is to recognize those individuals. And we have a little presentation ceremony at the end of our conference. Also, just a recognition of the great works that they do and sort of the fellowship that we can provide. And one of the opportunities we actually have as well is we have a nurse recognition dinner the first night of the conference. And that's a way to celebrate the greater good that those folks do that, may or may not get recognized on a day-to-day basis, certainly not to the level that it should.
Eric, tell me a little bit how long you've been at LeadingAge, and I'm going to ask you the follow-up question right now so you can know where I'm going with it. Who's someone that you're really excited about running into in about a month at the upcoming convention that you haven't seen in 3 or 4 months, and tell me why?
Sure. So I've been here just a little over 3 years, so it's really been a wild ride. My entire experience here at LeadingAge Indiana has been it started with the pandemic, and we're still feeling the effects of the pandemic. So it's really been drinking through a fire hose, I think, for all of our staff and certainly for our provider community. Just trying to support them as they maneuver through the pandemic has really been one of the greatest experiences of my life. So it's been really rewarding. Who would I like to see at our conference? I think really, Indiana is a big enough state that we don't have an opportunity oftentimes to see folks from sort of the corners of the state. So there's some providers that I'm going to see from the northwest corner of the state that I only get a chance to see very sporadically. Some also down along the Ohio River. So just to have an opportunity to speak with those folks in person and shake their hand and maybe share a meal or just some communication, some fellowship with them. That's really what excites me about the conference.
Eric, as I mentioned to start off, I've participated in a number of conventions, and the keynote lineup at each state is unique and really exciting. Can you tell me about who, your members and the participants of this year's convention can be excited to hear and learn from?
Yeah, absolutely. This year, I think we're really in store for a real treat. We're excited about the keynote. The keynote is actually going to be a duo this year. So this is the first, I think, at least in many years, if not ever, here at LeadingAge Indiana. It's going to be a mother and son, and the son's name is Sean Pierre Regis, and he is he's a journalist. He's been a producer, a director, done a lot of things. He's been on CNN. He's done a lot of things around, so pretty well versed. But the real story is about his mother, and his mother. Story behind her is that she's 75 years old and she's been working in the service industry really her whole life, and sort of woke up one day and found that she had been let go. So she's 75, doesn't have a whole lot of money in the bank, but what she does have is not unsurprising and certainly shared by a lot of residents in our communities. Sort of a fear of what's next and what is this going to look like? What are the challenges I'm going to face in my older years, especially when I don't have a lot of resources? That story, that journey that they embarked on together is really, I think, the crux of the keynote, and we're excited to hear from them. They sort of created a bucket list between the two of them about things they could do together, and and they did that. So I think they traveled the world, they traveled the country, and created this bucket list and checked these things off, and really created this sense of learning from each other. I mean, I think this is a son who had gone off into the world, and he comes home and he sees all these new nuances from about his mother that maybe he didn't really know or think to ask, and I think we can all learn from that. Hopefully, that will be the result of the keynote is what can we learn from the seniors that we provide care to and we actually serve on a day-to-day basis. Just having those conversations with folks who are a little bit older, a little bit more seasoned really than we are. We're hoping to learn a lot of great insights from that keynote.
Eric, I know it's a 2-day conference. Are there any social events going on that attendees should be aware of and make sure they mark on their map and make sure they're participating and network with peers?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking that question. So we've got, first of all, Indianapolis is a really great host city. We do a lot of things really well, and one of them is host events. So everything is walkable downtown Indianapolis. I feel like I'm on the Chamber of Commerce here, but it really is like that downtown Indianapolis. So there's going to be all kinds of great events and things that folks can do, and go out for a meal, share a drink, just chat with each other. But LeadingAge Indiana is also sponsoring a network reception on the first night of the conference, and we're real excited about that. Our key sponsor for that is Barnes & Thornburg, a law firm here in town, and we're real happy that they were able to participate with us this year. And that's going to be a great opportunity to have a little bit of food before folks might want to go out for dinner later that night and have a couple of drinks and chat with folks. And good opportunity for both associate members, that is our vendor members, and our providers communities to really just kind of let their hair down a little bit and chat about things that they're seeing every single day. So we're excited about that opportunity as well.
Eric, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to define what's unique about your community and your convention. I find that each one has its own flavor, its own flair, has its own leaders, its own advocacy. If I am looking at you from afar, I'm a nonprofit in Indiana. Tell me what I'm going to find when I show up at your convention in a month if I were to join you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, first of all, I think LeadingAge Indiana has a very strong board, and we have board members who have been around a long time, been around the industry a long time, have served on our board a long time. So they're really superb board of directors, and through that, they really it's their mission, it's their purpose-driven approach to leading communities. The conversations they have, the sort of educational opportunities that we provide for them and all of our members. I think that's a real benefit to our conference. And really, we are, like many LeadingAge affiliates around the country, we are a collection largely of independent, either mission-based or religious-based, at least historically, providers who oftentimes don't have that shared experience with the larger chains that might exist in a state. And that's who we represent, and that's who the folks who our board members are and who the attendees are. So really, if you're looking for a community to find and a conference to go where people are like-minded, they share the same sorts of challenges and experiences and benefits, to not maybe having that larger corporate focus, that's who we are, and that's our conference, and that's the folks you're going to see there, and I think that's a real benefit to both LeadingAge Indiana membership and our conference as well.
Well, Eric, I know this year LTC Heroes isn't going to be able to make it, but hopefully next year I want to let you know that all of your members are welcome to join me on the podcast. It's free of charge. I'm sure you know Jenny down in LeadingAge, Georgia. She was one of the first ones to invite LTC Heroes out. So we had 10 or 15 of their leaders on the program last year, and love to have Indiana on there. To wrap it up, Eric, tell me, and I'm going to ask a little personal question, what's your favorite part of the job being the president and CEO of LeadingAge Indiana? And feel free to get into the details. It's Tuesday at this stand-up meeting because I get to talk to my board, or it's Thursday because I get to have coffee with my staff.
Yeah. I think the favorite part of me, part of my job, is I've been very fortunate, and I've had a lot of really good jobs. I've had a lot of very good supervisors that I've been able to work under and mentor me. It's not something that was missing, but this job in particular has a sense that we are we are doing something meaningful every single day. We are the staff here, and me personally, I am doing something. I'm not working in buildings, so I'm not actually providing the care to our seniors, but I support those who do. And that sense of purpose for my personal job is something I think that makes me happy and satisfied every single day. So I would say that's really the favorite part of working here at LeadingAge Indiana, and is supporting the folks who actually do the hard work that oftentimes it isn't sexy, isn't rewarded very well, sometimes doesn't pay very well. But it's providing care to seniors, and we're all going to be there one day. And so I find that sense of sort of collective purpose of this industry is super important and very rewarding to me.
Well, thanks, Eric, for joining me on the program, and LTC Heroes. We wish you the best, and your members have an amazing time, and hopefully everybody can make it to Indianapolis on May 3rd, May 4th. Talk to you soon, Eric.
Absolutely. Thank